say.
Okay, so we're gonna ask you some questions about courtly love. So the first one is, do you think chivalry is dead?
No, I do not think so.
No, because like guys still do a lot for a relationship, and like it's kind of expected of them, so I feel like it's still alive.
Definitely not dead. I would hold the door open for anyone.
Yeah, he literally just held the door open for us like all morning.
The whole morning.
10 seconds ago walking out here.
Chivalry
Chivalry is definitely not dead. You go first.
I personally do not think chivalry is dead. Like, 'cause I still open doors for like women, and like I'll hold the door for them, or like I'll open their car door. Like, it's polite, I think.
I don't think it's dead, but I definitely think it's like getting less and less.
I think that in some ways it is. I think that there's a lot less focus on having like, I guess, a chivalrous attitude towards dating, but I think that there are still people who act in like that kind of manner as well.
Yeah, and I definitely think like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, the guys like have to be chivalrous and stuff, and I think both people in a relationship, like no matter what, like need to be chivalrous, and that's more important.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to put all that on like one certain kind of people.
In some sense, yes.
Why?
I think that it's not emphasized as it should be anymore.
Do you think guys should hold a door for girls?
Yes.
Yes.
I think I should hold doors for women, but like I feel like people do it more often in the South than like other places, because like Southern hospitality.
I don't think like guys specifically should hold doors. Like I think girls can hold doors too, like if they're there first.
I mean, I think whoever gets to the door first
Yeah,
should have to hold it for the other person.
Yeah.
In certain situations, yes, but like not always. Like if they're on a date, yeah, but like if you guys are just like out in town, like just relaxing, I don't think like the holding the door thing should like always apply. But I would probably do it.
Do you think guys should pay on the first date?
Yes.
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 No. Yeah. I don't think so. I think it depends. I think they should, especially if the guy asks the girl out on the date. I think he's obligated to pay. That's a good point. But some girls are also allowed to ask guys out on first dates, and then I think it's more up to debate. Like if she wants to pay, then she can pay, or they can split. Like the guy is not always obligated to pay.
Yes.
Yes.
And why?
Because like he's asking her, like, right?
Well, if he did ask her, yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's just the way I grew up. Like,
Yeah, like the first couple dates or anything.
I think on the first date you should split the tab, because you don't know if there's a second date yet, and I feel
Yeah,
like
I
that
think-
puts a lot of pressure on the date itself if one person has to pay for the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always nice when the other person offers. I think both people should always offer, and I don't think there should be a lot of pressure for one person like having to pay.
Do you think it matters like who asks the other out in regards to the paying?
I think that's another thing that like you would make that decision based on. Like if the other person asks you out, then they're asking you out on the date, so maybe they would offer to pay first.
Yeah, I think the offer should stand, but I also don't think anyone should feel like pressured into like needing to pay for it.
Yes. Like paying on the first date kind of like shows that you're like you actually care about the person. You're like down, like you actually want to, like you value her, so you like you'll sacrifice small like money to see her happy, or like to make sure that she doesn't have to like give up anything.
And should guys always be the first one to ask a girl out?
Yes.
No.
I don't think it matters.
I think so. I think a guy should be the one to ask a girl out.
So would you not be like happy if a girl asked you out?
It'd be like a little uncomfortable, but I wouldn't like just like shoot her down if she did ask me out.
Okay.
No.
No.
Yeah, I think whoever wants to ask other person out is fine.
Yeah.
A girl can definitely ask a guy out.
Second question, what do you think the games and rules of modern love are? So for example, what are like the steps in a relationship, like talking?
Yeah, I think it's kind of dumb how there's always a certain time period that you have to wait when you text someone. I think whenever you feel like it, you should. It shouldn't be like, if you feel like messaging someone right away, you should message someone right away. It shouldn't be weird. It should just be normal. But I mean, like if you're seriously away from your device, that's completely fine.
Do you think that like you should start like the stages like talking first and then go into it, or should you just like go ahead and ask someone out? Do you think like talking is dumb?
It's usually nice to start talking just so you can get to know the person better, and that kind of provides like a little safe zone for the date. Like it makes it nice, but I mean, either way is fine.
Before you
I
like
feel
answer
you
a
should
text.
get to know someone first. Like, make sure you talk to them, make sure you become friends, and then you start hanging out, and then you ask them out. I feel like that's how it should go.
I think friends is the first step for sure because it can get hairy.
It's weird, it's weird if you
jump
just
into
like
it too
straight up
fast.
ask them out.
Yeah.
And you like can't be petty about it either, because I feel like with modern dating, like you do that whole thing where like, oh, he didn't text me back for an hour, like I can't text him back for 2. And there's like an issue with that. Like I think that's what people do, but I don't think that that's correct. Like you have to be willing to be friends with people and do that.
I don't think it matters. Like, I mean, like I definitely like. I feel like girls, especially like us, like will like say it and be like, oh my gosh, I can't respond like 2 minutes later. But like, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, if I see it, I'm gonna respond. I'm not gonna be like, I have to wait 2 minutes exactly before I respond to it. It's done. Like,
I mean, I'm like a chronic double texter, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big
don't
deal.
think
I
that
think if
there's-
you're like thinking too much about that, and you're just gonna internalize everything, and then it's not gonna be like a real relationship.
Yeah.
So.
No, actually, my point is a bit different than that. Maybe because I'm an international student, it's a different culture. I don't agree that much because I think it's more emphasized here. Like people take it more seriously. Oh, I shouldn't text. Like I should look how long does she take to text, and I mimic that. I don't think that is a good thing. Like I think it's best outgoing, and yeah.
I feel like modern love, people try to wait like a day or two, but you don't really have to wait. It's not gonna change anything. It doesn't change anything really. It just shows like how interested you are. So if you like wait a day or two, it just shows that you may not be interested as like responding as like an hour or so later.
Okay. Do you think feminism is changing this?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it's making women a little bit more empowered, and you know, it's good stuff.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, I love that question. I think that feminism is changing the expectations a little bit, but I don't think that it's necessarily in a bad way, because again, like, a guy should not be expected all the time to make the first move, and he shouldn't be required to. And there aren't always, like, not every guy is super
We
assertive.
get lazy sometimes, okay?
And
Just make the first move.
And like girls are allowed to ask somebody out that they like that's how I'm going out with the guy that I'm going out with now. Like I was the one who asked him to hang out, and so and so like it's changing the rules, but I don't think that it's doing it in a bad way.
Yes.
I think it is too.
I think it is changing. Because, like, I think more girls are like, why can't I ask the guy out? Like, why can't I propose? Like, so I think it definitely is, like, kind of letting, like, women, like, take a lead instead of just, like, being in the backseat.
I feel like women are questioning like why certain guys like do things. Like sometimes I feel like it backfires on guys because like if a guy holds the door open for a girl and she gets mad at you, like you don't really know how to react because like you were just being polite, and some women like might not feel comfortable with that. I guess I don't know. Like they just maybe find it as an insult to feminism, maybe.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of like, I guess like the gender roles out of it. Like, you shouldn't feel obligated to like have the guy ask first, or you know, have the guy feel like obligated to pay for it. I think that it, you know, feminism changes the idea of equality, so it kind of changes the idea that like someone has to be like more in charge or more like responsible for the relationship.
Yeah, and I think gender roles are definitely like toxic when you're putting too much pressure on that. So.
Yeah.
It's not changing like the rules of it, but it's changing the norms definitely. Like feminism trying to make like men and women equal. It's kind of like trying to like, since dating has always been more of like a guy provides for a girl in the past, like feminism's trying to like transition it towards like they both contribute the same amount. I feel like that's like a good push, but I feel like it also could have some problems to where like the relationship isn't about like showing your love for one another. It's about like making sure that the love is equal. So like say for instance like you guys like have a house or whatever, so if everything's being split 50-50 and trying to make it as equal as possible, it's just going to get really annoying and kind of like tedious to always make sure that both partners are like giving the same amount, when if you just let it happen naturally, it wouldn't like, you would get a better result than trying to make it exactly equal.
How do you think these rules of love have changed over time? So, for example, how would courting be different from in your life versus your grandparents' life?
It's usually strictly only men doing all the relationship stuff, or like asking someone out. It's usually male dominated, and like in today's society, it's starting to change, and women are voicing their opinions, and I think that's a really good thing.
Great question.
I feel like in like my grandparents' lifetime, it's like a lot more male based. Like I feel like the man
Oh,
runs
I
it.
thought you said male. Like,
M-A-I-L.
I was like, yeah, we have texting now that you send letters.
That's also true though.
Yeah,
Good point.
phones have changed everything. And
Oh,
so,
100%.
like, you can be in constant communication with somebody, and I think that's really different.
Tinder.
Relationships develop faster.
Tinder definitely like. I feel like Tinder is like the root of like quite a few like online dating is like.
eHarmony?
big.
Nah, Tinder's the way to go right
Forced
there.
mingle.
But yeah, what is all that stuff? No, Tinder's the way to go.
Farmersonly.com.
Like sex before marriage, like courtship, like
More conservative.
yeah, it was more conservative, and like you weren't like supposed to like dating was public, like you weren't like never behind closed doors, like it was always
There
like.
was never like just talking.
Yeah.
It was like dating. I don't know.
I feel like technology has like made dating go faster. It's like steps are taken faster in relationships rather than like back then.
I mean, I guess that would be like, what, 70 years ago? 60, 70 years ago? I think that at that time it was probably like more important for like the man to ask the woman out. Or,
Yeah,
like,
the girl probably just had to wait
Yeah.
around and like wait for
yeah.
the person to ask.
Yeah, and I think at that point there were also like less women in the workforce, so it made more sense for men to like pay for a date because a woman was less likely to have a job. So I think that there's a lot of things that have changed over the course of the last 100 years or so that like allow for things to be different now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Again, this is from a different culture, so I think it was really different. And back then, that like there was no technology, there was no way to access new people, and there was no way to like knew the people before you meet them. It was like only when you like sit with them you're able to know them. I think right now you can go into Facebook and know all what they interest, and you can like say, oh, I can go along with that person or not. So I think the changes are it's much easier to get along with people right now because it's the internet. At the same time, I don't think it's very good. I'm more always with the outgoing perspective. So I think it's easier for us, but it's also bad because there's no like real connections, more like internet connections.
Dating today, since we have like the internet, it moves at a much quicker pace, and so like people don't really get to like understand one another before they actually start like dating. I think like well enough. I feel like in the past, people were taking like a much slower time to like get a good understanding of like who they were with most of the time, and like now you may like have seen someone like once or twice and you may talk to them over like your phone or a computer like a lot, but you don't really get an understanding of who a person is as a whole. Nowadays, like people don't like know what to talk about on the first date sometimes. Like people are like kind of stuck on what they should talk about, and like the first date is supposed to be like after you guys have like hung out and like already done other stuff, but it's not like a date thing yet. Like in the past, like the first date wasn't as awkward as it is now. Like people like really stress over the first date now. Like it's like something like a big event, but it wasn't really like that in the past, I don't feel.
All right, those are all the questions. Thank you. All right, those are all the questions we have for you guys today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.